Okay, let's sit there. So let's just get the presentation running here. And we're underway. Okay. Right. So welcome to the Soul Contract reading, question and answer session. You guys could all go on mute, Sophie, otherwise we get a bit of thanks. Get some echo. I think your phone running as well. So I'm Nicolas Dave Banana, the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and this is pretty much a session for asking any question you like about the book Your Soul Contract Decoded, about the philosophy, anything you want to know about it, so you can go deeper into the truth of this work, which has transformed my life and the life of many others. So I'm here. I wrote that book actually because I wanted to help light workers, give them a handbook, the handbook I would have liked in my 20s when I first started waking up, so you could understand how this matrix works and how to navigate it based on your soul contract. Okay, and so that was the inspiration for writing it, and it seems to have helped a lot of people over the past decade since it's been out. So, but I want to find out why you guys are here, because then that'll help me formulate the way you flow with this webinar. This can pretty much go in any direction you like. I know some of you may be interested in readings or coming on the training, or wanting to find out about your own soul contract. It's whatever you need. Okay. All right. So if you want to talk, just wave your hand like this, and then I'll ask you to switch your mic on, and then we can just take it from there. So it's your webinar. There's no real fixed agenda on this thing, whichever way you want to go. So we'll go for Sophie first, then Catherine. Switch on your mic, Sophie. On the bottom left. Now, if I click on this, if you look on the bottom left, there's a little microphone icon. Here it is. That's it. You got it. Okay, try and talk now. It's on.
Well, hello everybody. Glad to be here today. Thank you.
Okay, so what brought you here, Sophie? What do you need from this?
To be with people who are seeking connection and knowledge of self-exploration, I guess.
Okay. Thank you. And where are you located, Sophie? Tell me basically where you are.
Where am I?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Wiltshire in the UK.
Okay, not too far from me. Okay, I'm just outside London. Okay, Catherine. On the bottom left, on the mic button.
Hi everyone, Mr. Ngan. I have the book here. Basically, since I turned like 35, I had that like spiritual awakening where everything went wrong in my life, like everything. I got married, I got divorced, my father passed away, I hated my job, like everything was going wrong. And I started doing like the inner work and inner child healings and intuition trainings and stuff like that. And basically just trying to find like career-wise what I can do, how to serve, I guess, with my talents. And I just haven't figured it out yet. Like I have degrees and all that, but I've never used them. And the book was just very accurate for me. And I have some questions about it, but everything I read was spot on, and it was like too much truth, you know, like I felt like attacked, like, yeah, all these things are true for me. So I like it so far, but I do have a few questions about it. Again, whenever we get to that part.
What do you
That
think?
was the reason, like a spiritual awakening, I guess, was my reason to look into these things.
Okay. Sounds like you've had all the major triggers happen there. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Who's next? Sort of setting intention here. Okay, Mia.
I don't even know where to start. I kind of had a similar situation as Catherine. Over the last 2 years, my life kind of imploded. I was already on a spiritual path for about 5-6 years prior to that. Clearly I wasn't listening. I mean, I was, but I wasn't, in all honesty, with what the circumstances, I actually was listening as much as I could, but the universe basically cleared my whole path for me to basically break in every aspect possible so that I can start from scratch. The other thing is that I watched your show on Gaia, and again, this was probably in 2018, so it's probably been 7 years since I've kind of been aware of your book and this process. I'm very intrigued in kind of yes, self-discovery and self-exploration is a part of it, but I am a walk-in.
That makes it more interesting. Yeah.
So I'm really trying to understand beyond this universe, like not even just understanding and comprehending this universe, because I know there's more than this. So I don't even know how to be human, or how I don't know how to fit. I don't know how to fit here. And so I'm trying to figure out how to fit. I also had a very, very, which I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of trauma and abuse. Mine was quite extensive, by two people who are, if they were to ever see anybody, they're just not ever going to ever put themselves in a position to be evaluated, but they both have clinical severe disorders. And I was basically the spiritual dumpster for my whole family. I think that was part of my soul contract. And it kind of helps a bit to understand that, but it does not negate the emotions and terror and what you feel on the human level, especially when at that time you think the only reality is just this three-dimensional human aspect, and it's not. So there was quite a lot of abuse, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. My walk-in happened sometime in my adolescence, but I don't know enough about it to know when it happened. But I do know that everything that you said on the show with Gaia made total sense. In fact, it was like giant alarms going off when I first saw it 7 years ago, and I'm actually just barely coming to terms with, I think it's taken me all 7 years to literally digest that I'm a walk-in, and I'm just now allowing myself to give myself permission to accept the truth. There's just way too, I'm very in tune with my pendulum. I do a lot of pendulum work, and I'm very dialed in with that. And so I've gotten some, again, I could have asked these questions before, but I was just too scared. So I'm just now starting to ask the questions and get clarification on things. So I guess that's kind of my perspective, is that I'm very, very interested in the frequency of things. Everything is frequency, everything is energy, and that totally resonates with me. But there's this other side too. It's not just, I've also had so many different name changes too, which is kind of weird. Some given to me by other people, some being a work situation where there were two people that had the same name. So then I changed mine. So there's been a lot of weird things with my name that I just never even thought about until I saw your book. So I'm interested in that part from the soul contract perspective, but I also have this whole other side with the walk-in thing that I'm just trying to figure out who I am and why I'm here, because clearly I came for a reason. There was a reason that walk-in happened. And I asked a few questions around it with my pendulum, but again, I'm just barely allowing myself to go here. So I kind of have surface questions because I'm a little scared to go deep, but I'm ready. It's time. Like it's time. It's time.
All right, see what we can do. So, so for those of you not familiar with the idea of walking is where there's a change of soul at a specific time and location to get a new astrological configuration where a more powerful soul comes into a body with agreement of the first host soul to carry out a much more high frequency mission on Earth. It's essentially what's going on here. And so it's it's the most powerful sort of transplant you can have, and it makes a heart transplant look mild. So it's a soul transplant. It's essentially what's happened here. So, okay. Teresa, you had your digital hand up. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I read your book about 3 years ago, and I did my own reading. I wrote out my contract or whatever, and sort of started working through any areas that needed working on. And last year I started my own business online. It's all about astrology and spiritual guidance sort of thing. And I'm probably going to be expanding that in some way this year into like more of a group, sort of like having sessions like this, but more to just sort of a group healing and stuff like that, and guidance. So yeah, the contract itself, my soul contract itself, is going quite well, I think. But I was wondering, it's like, you know how you can change your name to overlap the frequency coming in, like the codes coming in?
Yeah.
To enhance certain areas of your life if you need, say, more love. Because yeah, I've been single for like a long time, and I've sort of just been thinking, well, the universe is going to bring it to me when it's the right time. And my contract is all about basically gathering knowledge and spreading it to other people, and to bring like-minded people together and share the knowledge with them to help them become more in touch with themselves. But yeah, I just wanted to know what frequency would I have to bring in to enhance that area of the contract?
Yeah, we can talk about name optimization a bit later. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Where are you? You're in Australia. You're in Australia?
Yeah, West Australia, yep.
Okay, you're up very late. Thank you.
Yes, it's 1 o'clock here in the morning.
Yeah, there's determination. Okay. Thank you. Janet.
Hello to everybody. My name is Janet. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I am in Puerto Rico right now. And basically, I was resonated with me so much, the soul contract. And I have a very interesting thing that happened to me, that I lived in Puerto Rico until 46 years old, 45, I think. And I moved to USA. So my name, Janet, was with one N. And then I realized when I moved to USA that my name in my birth certificate have two N's. So it's a different name. And my life was completely different. And then I have my awakening late in life. I'm 57. So in 2018, and I received my spiritual name, that is Asa Asa. So I have 3 names, and I have the book. I still trying to figure out how can I be of service, and I want to do it in big, no, but I have some, I think, internal obstacles, and I would like to know more about my physical karma and my soul destiny. I have my soul contract here, but I want to understand more indeed, so I can learn for me first, and then I can help others, because I know this is very powerful, and I feel it, and I know it. I just need to understand a little bit more in depth. And so I'm very grateful for you and for everybody here, and sending many blessings to all.
Okay, thank you. All right. Cheryl, do you want to introduce yourself? Get your mic on. Now we're on a better platform. Maybe.
Can you hear me?
Nice and clear.
Oh, that's good. I've changed from my phone to a laptop and now onto another laptop, so I'm glad you can finally hear. Third time lucky. So I'm from Scotland, and I've always been into like spiritual development and stuff like that. I'm 46, so since I was 13, I've always went to like spiritual churches and just done a lot of spiritual development and stuff like that. Your book and like, you know, learning about the soul plan and stuff is just all brand new to me. It was just not long before Christmas. It came up something I was looking at about Gaia. You could do like a 7-day free trial or something. So I thought, oh, what's that? Went on to that, was listening to it, to different things that day. And then something about yourself and your book and stuff came up. And I thought, oh, that sounds good. Something new. I'm always wanting to learn new things. This is a different avenue that I've never thought about exploring or anything. So I then ordered your book, and the book came and I read it, and I got so far at first and I thought, oh, how am I ever going to work all that stuff out? So I thought, oh God, I better just get Christmas out the road, and then I'm going to have to actually set time aside and work out how to work this book out. And then it just so happened that on Facebook, there's obviously the group on Facebook, and I put a message on there saying I'm really stuck. I was enjoying this book. I've got to a certain part and I really don't know how to work all this out. And then somebody kindly sent me links to your videos on YouTube and stuff. So for me, over the last few weeks, it's been like a new project. I've went away and worked out my soul plan as best as I can, spent ages, hours and hours and hours kind of working it out, and I'm just so excited. So far it bloody explains my whole life, and it's really spot on. And so, but I don't really know that much at the moment, but I'm so keen to learn more about it. But what I've worked out so far on this soul plan absolutely explains everything. To be honest, it's been quite emotional, because it really explains, and just kind of like what you've said before, you know, does anybody feel like they do all the inner work and nothing's actually manifesting or changing and stuff? And that explains me to a T, because I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist. I'm a counsellor. I work with children and adults. I've done years and years of inner work on myself, and I help other people to do that too. But, you know, certain things just aren't manifesting for me, or I'm stuck in the same pattern and stuff. And I couldn't understand why after I've done all this work on myself. But now I know why. Now I know because of the soul plan and stuff like that. So it's gave me hope. And I've been doing your meditation twice a day that you'd put on YouTube the other day, which was the back of one of the webinars that I came on the other week there. And I've been doing that twice a day. I'm on day 6. I know you'd said to do that for 10 days. And to be honest, it's absolutely clearing. It's clearing lots because I've cried for days. I'm driving about from school to school doing my job, and I'm crying because I'm just all the stuff that it's bringing up. But it's really good as well. So I'm looking forward to day 10 to get to the end of this 10. I'm hoping that will be everything cleared that's meant to clear, kind of thing. So this has took me on a whole new different journey that I'm absolutely, yes, I'm crying a lot and I feel a bit exhausted, but it's actually really exciting as well. So I'm so grateful that I've came across your work in this new path.
I'm glad it's helped. Yeah.
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 Thanks.
Yeah, there are many layers to becoming clear, to becoming
Yeah.
a true soul. So 10 days is just the beginning, but it's a good start.
Yeah. I hope I'm not going to cry all the way through it.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, you let it all out. We all could do it.
Yeah.
I had a good cry last night and some stuff. So you did it. Okay.
Thanks.
Yana, do you want to say your piece? You got a bit of space there briefly.
Hi, everybody. My name is Yana, and I have actually done all 3 levels of soul contract readings. And my primary purpose for being here today is I feel like in my work, like my soul contract reading business is growing and at a rapid pace. And for me, it's like when I am just like in this environment, sometimes like you get to pick up like little nuggets that kind of fill in like bigger pictures of different frequencies and energies. Someone may say something where you're like, oh yes, this goes so well with this frequency. So that's why I'm here today. Plus, like I just love learning and hearing people's stories. But that's it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, anyone else want to say anything from the attendee room? Joanna, just switch your mic on. I'll give it to you in a minute, Sophie. Hi. What brought you
Hi.
here, Joanna?
I've had your book for a while, like maybe a couple of years, and they're super eye-opening to me. It's like really very true. I haven't thought about it for a while actually, and it's just kind of one of those things where you just like see, well, just kind of like
Come close to the microphone because you're actually coming and going there.
oh, is that better?
That's better, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just sort of saw an email pop up and it kind of just stuck out to me, so I just decided to join. And yeah, I feel it very kind of like relevant of what a lot of people's thing here. I sort of just have hit like I don't want to say life crisis, but just where like everything's kind of stopped for me, like in terms of like where I was going with my career. You know, like anything I'm applying for jobs, like it's just not working, and sort of hit like a, you know, financial crisis, kind of not having any money sort of thing. And I definitely feel it's just a redirection for sure. But yeah, just kind of want to, yeah, I don't know, just in one of those phases of life right now that's sort of just going within and seeing what's coming up. I think it's a huge redirection for me on my path. And yeah, this just sort of felt relevant. So thank you.
Welcome. See what we can do. Anyone else? Oh yeah, where's Sophie gone? There you go, you're waving at me. Sophie, you want to say something else?
Hello, yes. Talk about feeling like an imposter. You know, I feel I don't know what I don't know. And actually, I have not read your book yet. And I feel that I've been strongly attracted to come and join this Zoom lesson without a clue of what I'm doing and looking for. And the thing that really has given me pause for thought, it's so fundamental. I'm sort of even embarrassed to say it, but my name when I was born was Sophia with an A at the end. But I've always been known as Sophie. My whole family have always called me Sophie all my life. And I'm just thinking, perhaps I should just stop being a participant here and just go and order your book and read that first. I think I haven't done that kind of basic work because I've just very intuitively signed up for this without knowing without knowing how to make the best of this time
We'll see
here.
what we can do.
And what I can contribute, if anything, because, you know, I just repeat, I don't know what I don't know.
That's a good place to start. It's a very good place to start. So
I'm so sorry though.
I think you're here for a reason. I think you're here for a reason.
yeah, everyone's come for a reason. Okay.
Everybody's come for a reason. Yes. Well,
Even if you don't know what it is.
yeah. Well,
There's
I
a
don't know
reason.
what it is yet.
All right. So does anyone else in the any room want to introduce themselves? Put your hand up, or you can either do it by voice or on the chat. Otherwise, we'll get underway to the next thing. No. Okay. Thanks for sharing, everybody. We've all had some very varying challenges, as we all do in life. So let us get to the presentation a bit more. So I'm going to give an overview, given what you've just said, Sophie, and also for the other guys who are going to watch this later, cold, and then we will a broad overview of the work. Some of you will be aware of having read the book, some won't, especially those watching later, and then we can get into specific questions and things like that. So a little bit of something for everybody here. Okay, so just this webcam here. So a lot of you are going through a lot of karmic stuff at the moment, and you've got these challenges. And what's happening is that your soul is trying to reveal to you what your spiritual gift of service is, why you're here. Mightn't feel like that, but that's actually what's going on. And so, how many of you guys have heard of the law of attraction? Hands up. Your feelings and thoughts create your reality. Okay. Well, there's another law which goes with it, which I don't tell you about, called the law of opposites. And so what happens is that initially, as we we come into a body, we're unconscious, our personalities are unconscious, and we're here to wake up. What happens is that the law of opposites triggers. So we get everything we don't like or want in life. A lot of you are right in the middle of that now. So nothing's gone wrong. The purpose of that is to show you everything you don't like, so you get clear what you do want. So you have the opposite of what's meant to happen. Then you get real clear, oh, well, I want to go in the other direction. It could be like Mia, you said a lot about having severe abuse when you were younger. And the opposite reaction to that is meant to be your soul wants you to seek to come into your power. So it wants you to explore power. Okay, or you might feel shy, for example. The opposite of that is to let you come out of your shell and express yourself as a communicator, probably a teacher of some sort in the world. And that's how we are bringing consciousness by turning into the karmic pattern and bringing consciousness to it and transmuting each layer of the pattern. We claim our gift of service. Okay? I know it seems a bit warped, but this is the way it works down here. Once we understand that, and that this is not a punishment or something hasn't gone wrong, and you are in the perfect family to train you for your mission. Your families are not here to love you. If you get some love, you're doing well. They're here to train you through this whole karmic experience so that you get on the right path. That's actually the point of families. Okay. And how many of you guys feel like total strangers in your family, like you're the spiritual black sheep? Hand up. You're sort of thinking, well, who the hell are these people? Okay. And you have nothing in common with them. It's because you're part of the 2 or 3% of the population who are light workers who came here to bring a higher frequency to Earth, to raise the frequency of the other 98% of the population, what we call the ground crew, the people who souls who have had less time to grow because they're younger than you, and they go to completely asleep. They come here to forget that they come from source, from God. And your job is to work through your karmic pattern, claim your gift of service, and then help the other 98% awaken. That's your job. That's why you're born. And how many of you feel you're never going to fit in? Hand up. And you may have tried to fit in and sacrificed your energy and found that doesn't work either. It's very uncomfortable. I used to do that a lot as a kid. I couldn't fit in. You're not meant to fit in. Okay. You're here to be claiming your gift of service, being in your pure truth, and bringing that state of higher consciousness. Doesn't mean you're better than everyone else. It just means that's your mission. And then to transmit that higher consciousness, to raise the frequency of everyone around you. Okay, that's why we're born. And if you're a walk-in, I'm a walk-in, like me, I walked in when I was 11. It's even stronger, this effect, because the frequency difference is even greater. And we walk into a body because our mothers wouldn't have better handle our soul coming in at conception. They would have miscarried because of the frequency difference. So that can lead to an even greater sense of separation from humanity because of the frequency that we're at. So the best place for me is to hang out in groups like this with other light workers where you can just be yourself and you don't have to pretend to be human. And the feeling of not being human is because we all actually as light workers embody in many different races at many different dimensional levels, usually much more highly conscious and evolved. So when you come to Earth and you see the natives are already asleep because that's what they chose to do, that can be pretty strange. They're doing weird sort of stuff which doesn't make any sense to you because that's just what they're doing from their level of consciousness. So your job, all of your jobs, is to stay in your pure truth according to your contract and deliver that to the world. Okay, that's your mission. And you're the one who knows best for yourself, and trust yourself. If you try and reference to the matrix of what you should do, it's never going to work. Okay, because the matrix is built upon lower level attractive fields of unconsciousness, and you want to avoid those. Your job is to dissolve those attractive fields by bringing higher level attractive fields of unity and love and connection to the world. Okay, and you guys, I mean, we're going through a massive change in the world, as you sort of may have noticed in the past 4 or 5 years, where the complete matrix is breaking down. And our job as light workers is to build a new earth with our skills and set new patterns of attractive fields in the matrix based upon what our soul wants to deliver to the world. So it's not about looking to the matrix to change by itself. It doesn't. It's being dissolved. Our job is to bring the high frequency in and create these bubbles of higher consciousness, unity consciousness, fifth dimensional awareness. Then if enough of us do that, we basically transform the whole thing. So claim your gift of service, whatever that is. It's in your karma, and deliver it to the world. And that's how we change the world for the better. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so first thing we need to understand when we come here is what are we here to do? Back in 1990, I was on the beginning of my spiritual journey. I turned up in Arizona at a workshop called the Carousel of Growth, run by Frank Alpa, who was the founder of this work. He channels work through from the soul of Moses in the 80s. And I had no idea why I was there. I just already drawn, like Sophie was drawn to this webinar. So I turned up and I walked into this room with 30 people, and they seemed really familiar to me. We obviously had some past life connections. I was just beginning to wake up. And during that week, I booked a soul contract reading with Frank, or a numerology of Moses session. That's what he called it. And he took out a Star of David, and he took my birth name, and he analyzed it, and he explained my entire disparate, crazy life bouncing off the walls. And that completely changed my life that moment. And so it was so powerful to realize there was an actual order to the chaos of what had been going on. And I said to him, how can I learn this? This is amazing. And he said, well, I'm running this training, Carousel 2, in 6 weeks' time, and I'll teach this. So I stayed on in the States for another 6 weeks. And I spent a lot of time traveling around, staying with all the people I met on the training. And we all came back for this workshop, and then I learnt this profound work and brought it to England, and been 34 years ago, and been expanding it ever since. Also expanding with Almira Ariel Hilaire, who set up the Centre for Conscious Ascension with me. To answer that question, the people that experienced that I had of awakening of my true purpose, and then so they could stop spending 80% of their time on things which don't matter and spend it on 20% of things that do matter in life. So this is how the soul thing started. And so this here is to help you understand your own contract, but also if you're interested in learning to be a practitioner like Jana, so you can help others decode the secrets of the blueprint of their life, hidden within the sounds of their name, which create their reality. Because once someone understands that, because we only have about 280 soul contract readers in the world, there's not many of you, not many people, we need lots more to awaken humanity. And so you can help people, if you're interested, overcome their, understand and overcome their karma, express more of their talents, achieve their goals. And if they can get through all that, the product of that will be to manifest his soul or life purpose. And that's the most fulfilling thing a light worker can do, because how many of you felt from a very young age there's something very special you're here to do, but someone can't tell you the answer? Your hand up. I felt that from a very young age. And I asked at school and work and parents, and no one had a clue. And I look at this world feeling, something's hidden from me. There's much more to it than what I see going on. People just going to work and making a living and raising families. So that answers that deep urge in a light worker as they awaken. What's my true purpose here? Hi, Monica. And thanks for joining us there. So that is the greatest gift you can give someone. I've been doing readings for 34 years now, and I still do them. It's still the most amazing thing to see someone awaken and see their path. It's a great gift we can give to people. That's what we help. If you're interested, we can help train you to begin the soul contract reading. So I will explain the basics of the system, Sophie, and anyone else who's new to it. So what we do is we take the frequencies of a name, which is a set of sounds, and we convert them to ancient Hebrew. And we use 22 of the ancient Hebrew letters. Match the sounds in whatever language it's in. But we will assume it's in English for now, but we can adapt to Spanish and things like that for Janet. Okay. Janet, are you still asking me a question with your hand up, or is it just from before, just checking? No? I'll put the hand down there. Okay. And so we take the Hebrew frequencies, which we've matched to the sounds of the name in English. And what we do is that we decode them on the Star of David. It's like a gateway of consciousness, to work out why you're here, why you were born. It's a little drink. And within the Star of David, there's two large triangles. This is the downward pointing physical triangle, which represents the physical side of life. So we are brand new personality expressions of the soul every lifetime. The soul's eternal, and each time it incarnates, it creates a new personality. So all of us are here for the first time at a personality level. So we need to learn to walk and talk, conditional responses, get up and running in life. Between the ages of 35 and 42, the sixth cycle of 7 years. Okay. We make a transition to the spiritual triangle. We start to bring online our real mission. Some of you expressed that you're in a real crisis, or this is called, well, a midlife crisis, or this is a spiritual awakening. This is where you're transitioning to the true purpose of being here. And the soul's trying to build that upon the foundation of the physical triangle. I used to wear a suit and work in the city in London in global satellite communications. And at the age of 37, I really woke up and I left that job to do this. I left a very good job to do this. And because I could no longer do it. I could no longer do my old life. And within that triangle, these three aspects, these karma, talents, and goals in the physical triangle. And this represents in physical karma a set of unresolved past life issues that create the negative context, create all the stuff I didn't like or you don't like in your life. And the idea is to activate the latent physical talents to burn through that and transmute it into the positive gifts of service. And as that gets stronger, the talents that helps the physical goals start to manifest, it flows this way. And so this is a physical orientation, but there's also a spiritual karmic pattern. How do you reconnect to God consciousness, source? And the spiritual talents help you overcome this negative context and helps you move to the spiritual goals. And if you understand what these are, all these are, all 6 outer aspects, and you consciously work on them. I mean, I was trying to put in the book as much as I could within a book format, the instructions for living life according to your contract. Over time, it's percentage complete. If you work through each of these has this, you consciously work on your chart, which is what I've been doing for 34 years, then that starts to manifest your soul destiny, your life purpose. Starts to manifest it. That is the most satisfying thing a light worker can have. I've been very fortunate. Mine is gradually starting to come online. It takes time. So if you can help understand it for yourself, you can get on with this mission, have a much more fulfilled life, because like Gallup, that is survey, 90% of people are emotionally disconnected from their jobs because they're not in alignment with this, which is pretty sad. I mean, a lot of you may still do corporate jobs, and you know how tough that is because it's not in alignment with the flow of spirit at all. Okay. So, Sophie, would you like to find out what your soul contract is, why you're here? Seeing you ask.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
We're going to do a little taster reading now for you. So you happy to bare your soul publicly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's do that. So this here is the soulcontractreader.com software. So if you want to generate more charts, anyone who's watching, go here and get 4 free soul contract charts from this. So what we do, this saves having to do it all by hand. We developed this because people with the book say, well, I just can't do all the charts by hand anymore. I can do one of them, but I need to know how to get it done quickly because I want the numbers and understand them, analyze them. Okay, so Sophie, we're going to put your current name in here. Make sure that's right. Where's that name from? Your surname?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. And what's your birth name? You said it was Sophia, you said to me.
Yes, Sophia.
And is their middle name?
I have 2 middle names, Caroline, Emma.
Yep. And it's the same last name, or is it a different name?
Yeah, Cardis is my birth name.
Okay. Okay, we won't put the date of birth because it's a public video, but what's your star sign, just so we know what that is?
It's in November. It's 9th of November, 1964.
Just told everyone we'll put it anyway. Okay. You're a Scorpio.
I
Yeah.
am.
So you're okay for us to analyze this? You already said
Yes.
yes. So we'll put today's date in here. Okay. And we're going to choose normal karma, talents, and goals. We're going to go okay. And then this is going to analyze your chart. So we just go here, we go chart. There's your chart. Okay. All right. So I will summarize what we've done here. Got it on my pen. So we've taken Sophie's name in English. Okay, so for you, Janet, we can convert your Spanish name into the equivalent written English as it's pronounced. I'll put a link for name assistance there, so you still analyze your name, but you can also analyze the name as written. Okay, there's two ways of doing it. The as written name is more personality based, but the phonetic name, it's equivalent written English as it's pronounced, gives you more spiritual reading. Okay, so you have two charts to look at. So the software converts this to Hebrew sounds. Okay.
Yeah.
In this case, that is pretty much a match, a one-to-one match. Sometimes it's not. And then we have here, we have Hebrew numbers are inherent within the Hebrew sounds. They're not allocated to the English alphabet like it is for normal numerology. They're inherent within it, and it brings out these Hebrew numbers, and we allocate them starting at physical karma around the star. Go around the star like this. Okay, and then we are going to analyze them. So what we do is that we add up all the numbers. Like in physical karma, the total of the numbers is 66. And so we take the 66, which is greater than 22, because there's only 22 numbers, Hebrew numbers, and they have interpretations from the soul of Moses. So we have to reduce this. So we go 6 plus 6 equals 12. That becomes the left-hand number, and we reduce this to the smallest possible number. 1 plus 2 equals 3, so we get a 3 here. We have a frequency of a 12, and a frequency of a 3. And so it's saying in physical karma, Sophie, you've got the lesson, what we call a negative expression. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's the lessons of a 12 and the lessons of a 3, plus every blend in between. So you're going to be sitting somewhere on this continuum here. Okay. So that's got a combination number, because there's two of them. In the case of physical talents, total 62. So we go 6 plus 2 equals 8. 8 plus nothing is another 8. So we a double number. One frequency we work with here. Okay. We work all the other numbers out accordingly. And then we take the physical numbers, place them on the top half of the table. Spiritual numbers on the bottom half. And then we add them up to get 71 and a 35. And that is reduced to an 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. We pop that guy in the middle. And that's just all destiny. That's why you come. And because we have here 4 or more 8s, we get a dominant vibration, which is like a overall theme of your life comes out of this. So Sophie, what's your main question about your life? Well, we'll start with that. And I'll answer it from the chart.
I guess, am I doing what I've contracted to do for my life, work?
What are you doing at the moment, Ben?
I'm a chiropractor and nutritionist, and I do slightly esoteric fascial body work. And I love my work. I love it. And I have lots of clients and people recommend me. And from that point of view, I feel hugely blessed and grateful, just overflowing with gratitude to have been able to train and have the opportunity and work that I do. So to that degree, I feel I've been very helped and guided through many lifetimes, if that's not too weird a thing to say. But what else do I need to do? Am I?
And that's that. And that's that. So, in your chart here, you've got 3 8s. And that's all about grounding in the body. It's a symbol of an amoeba. It's about bringing your emotional body into your physical body and learning to form clear boundaries emotionally with the outer world. And just learning to be in the body. Okay? And both of these are in talents here. So working with the body is perfect for you. That's why it's so fulfilling, because you're learning about your body and other people's bodies. And the most important thing is the soul destiny. It's grounding in the physical. People with H tend to be body workers, yoga teachers, things like that. Okay, very drawn to it. So you're exploring what is it like to have embodied emotion within you and to express in this limited form. What is it like to be spirit embodied and to move from the mind into the feeling in the body? Okay, that's the most important thing. So I guess lots of emotions and stuff come out with myofascial work with your clients.
Often.
Yeah. So that's what you're exploring. It's 3 out of 7 in your chart. So you're definitely doing the right work here. Okay.
That's lovely to know that.
Yeah. So you haven't gone down the wrong path. Okay. But in physical karma, do you teach this work, Sophie? You communicate? Because you're a communicator teacher here. That's what the 3 says.
To the degree that I talk to people individually and talk to them and hope that I communicate with them, I hope that I encourage people to recognize their body for the beautiful vessel that it is for our soul. So I possibly would say, yes, I teach, but on a completely one-to-one basis.
Okay. So you're here to pull a plug of unworthiness out of this internal canal and to bring, this comes from childhood, it comes from being disempowered as a child over here. That's the 9 there. And to bring great soul wisdom out in the world, to communicate about things you're passionate about out into the world. There's a great library of knowledge in this internal canal that you're here to share with the world. Communicator, teacher. So I would say another stage for you is to communicate not just with one person, but with many people. Okay? Many people. That's the next step for you. Okay? I'd say the one-on-one work here is the baseline, but there's a teaching practice to bring in here. Okay? Because the 12 here is all about absorbing lots of different bodies of knowledge and expanding it, which is what this thing is about. Expanding it out into the world, taking it to a higher level, then teaching it. So do you read lots of books or watch lots of online
Yes.
material on spirituality? You have 6 books going at once?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah. So there's a teacher in you. That's the next stage. There's a teacher communicator of higher levels of knowledge. Okay.
That makes me smile so much because all my family are teachers and I've never wanted to be one.
Well, part of you is going to feel shy or feel not worthy to do it. Okay. Did you have a challenging childhood? This is saying there's some challenging childhood stuff here in terms of. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So your job's to overcome that disempowerment of this inner dragon. There's a dragon lady in you waiting to be brought out in the world. It's a big flowy dragon. So your job, heal the wound around that and release the dragon out of the cage. You're here to catalyze awakening in people.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the year of the dragon. Is it?
Well, it's your year.
Yeah.
And the 18 here is you coming from many different lifetimes and being at a point of having to make a choice to follow the path of God or the path of the ego. It's called finality and solution. So you're here to learn to follow the path of spirit. 9 here gives you the power to do that, to burn through the ego. to make the best decision you can as they present it to you in the moment. You're never going to get 100% accuracy on data to make the 100% clear decision, but you got to do the one that feels the best, feels right. Because you're here to take on projects to create change in the world. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Okay, so the Soul Destiny 8 is taking this spiritual talents. Are you really good with people? You can relate to all sorts of people.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yes. I
If you
feel
don't-
like I can get on with anybody, everybody.
You're here to get out in society, yeah, and really reach people with, I think, with the work you're doing. With this work, you really had to reach out and connect to a lot of people. It's reinforced you. That's what you're here to do as a teacher. Okay. How's all that sound? Okay.
Scary, but something to work towards.
Well, if it wasn't a bit scary, we you know, it's going to be too easy, wouldn't it? To some degree, we need to work. We need to work for it. Okay. So let's look at your current name. And I'm doing this to move on to understanding the effective names you currently use. Okay, so it leads on to name optimization. So, well, some of you talked about
I
having.
didn't know that my real name was Sophia until I was 18.
Oh, well, it was hidden, wasn't it? So, if you've had many different names, like you said you had it, Mia, some of the others have said that. Think of this name here, like the birth name, as like the cake of your life. It's always there and always who you'll be. Different names you've used through time are like a layer of icing sitting on the cake, of frequency icing, that's infusing into the adjacent aspect of your birth name to help you grow or hinder you in different ways. But basically, you'll grow overall. Okay. So if you have many different names, you're going to get many different frequencies. And the reason for that is so that you can grow for a certain amount of time in a certain specific way. That's what it's there for. So for Sophie, the effect of this is that we have all these high frequency psychic fives. So this is what this name is. So are you very intuitive, Sophie? You can sort of read a client's energy. You just know what's going on. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you're here to reflect back to them with this 14th, and it's called reflective being, to reflect back to them things they haven't seen about themselves before. Okay. And the 10-1 is using spiritual energy, so to be of pure service to people. And these 7s are saying you're here to open your heart and create networks of like-minded people. How's that been going? You're here to work with groups of people.
It wouldn't be my natural environment to do that.
Yeah, well, it's something to work with. You're here to open your heart and show your true self. Okay. And then when you show your true self, because this is about showing you the heart wound as a child, drop the facade that the soul, the ego puts out, and show the heal the part of you that feels wants to hide away, feels like it's bad, being rejected, and show her true self to the world. And they'll magnetize like-minded people to you. Okay, so there's a whole new phase of your life here. Okay, you spend a lot of time with the physical side and the individual communication. You're here to bring like-minded people together to teach them and give them emotional support and structure. You've got a lot of wisdom now in life. Okay, so saying you've been gaining wisdom, is that true?
Yes, I would hope so.
And sharing that wisdom with them to empower them. That's why you're here. So,
thank you.
So for those of you who are thinking about changing your name or want to know the effects of names, you can, we have a thing called name optimization, where I'll post a link on the YouTube channel where you work consciously to find the right name to overcome all the karmic and goal aspects here. Okay. Like I put a 13 for the divine feminine here to calm down this massive expansion all the time of knowledge. I put maybe that 7's good here because that 7 will actually heal the wounded heart. There's a wound with your mother, I think. That's what it's saying to me here, Sophie. There's a wound with the mother, improper mothering or lack of mothering.
Yes, I think I brought myself up mostly.
Yeah, so she wasn't there for you. In fact, you probably were her mother for a while. Yeah. So we can program in, well, the soul has already determined an optimal name, which is how you can maximize your potential as a light worker, to infuse the right frequencies to help move through this more gracefully and manifest your mission. Okay, that's what name optimization is about. Okay. Jana, do you want to share about name optimization? Because you've just done it a little while ago.
Yes. Which part do you want me to talk about? You want me to just talk about whatever I know or my experience with it?
The impact of changing your name, just how powerful this thing is.
Okay, so I want to talk about even before you and I did it together.
Yeah.
When I got married, I changed my name. And I never knew about the soul contract system or anything. So then when I had a short marriage, I just, it didn't work out. We got divorced. And then after name optimization was level 2. So when I was doing level 2, I had to put in my name, my married name into the system. And all of a sudden I looked at the energies that I had never looked at before, the energies that my married name brought in. And I had seen my life play out for the last 2 years prior to that, based on these frequencies. And it absolutely blew my mind. Because when you do optimize your name, although you're bringing in like the positive aspect of that frequency, you are going to feel at first a little bit of that karmic element. And it just played out for me. Like, it was like I was looking at numbers and I could just see the journey of my life. And it was just mind blowing. Yeah.
Okay, and how's it now with this new name? What's manifesting now?
Lots of healing has taken place. Lots of worthiness. I have stepped into my 3s and my 4s very nicely, I think. And I think through the healing journey that at some point I didn't even know that I was on, I was able to tune into my worthiness and build that up enough to where I was able to express myself in society, live my truth. And now I'm seeing that return of abundance coming in, and it's very beautiful.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Okay, so this is name optimization in action here. Okay, so you can basically reprogram your life to create a different reality with the right name. But if you have the wrong overlay names here, then you can get some pretty tough stuff happening, because often we're not conscious of what we're actually creating there. Okay, so it's a very powerful way of growing name optimization. So, any questions so far on what we've covered? I'll move on. Thanks for sharing that, Jana. That's a practical example of how your life can change. A little bit stunned.
I suppose I have a question. Is if when you say find your right name, is it an entirely different name than you have? Do you choose a name? Or do you?
It's a name which is within the soul, and often it'll be just an incremental shift. I mean, for Jana, she's got a new middle name, okay? And she's kept her first and last names. It's usually something that you consciously can handle. It's usually very rare to be completely different, or some people it is. But it's usually like a new middle name or a new first name, or a different way of spelling some of your names. It's something that you can live with, but you're going to feel the frequency of it. It's like this electrical ignition of the soul when you get the right name. It's like, I'm becoming my true self. I mean, my name, I've had my name, I changed from Guy to David in 2006, and my life totally changed because it was time for that to happen. So it's like you become your true self. You have your, I don't know, call it your training name or names. You learn all the stuff from that, all the challenging stuff, and then you get your true name, and then the mission really starts. Okay, That's what happens. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we can take other questions now, you guys. A lot of you had a lot of questions, so now's the time to ask me. We've got we got a little bit of time left. Okay, Joanna. You have to switch on the mic. Hang on. There it is.
Oh,
It's on now.
Hi. Yeah, I just had a question about the 10-1.
Yep.
Notice that in her. So my 10-1 is physical goals, and I'm just reading in the book, and it kind of says like no real physical goals. So that like it experienced great difficulty in deciding on a career, and it doesn't say much else. Obviously, there's more context kind of in different aspects of it, but I just had kind of, if you could maybe shed some light on that.
Okay. So what it means is that you're not here to go out and achieve things in the world purely physically. It means that you're here to take spiritual energies to balance the masculine and feminine aspects of God trying to come into unity, which is the one, and then bring through channeling that God consciousness to use spiritual energies to serve others. That's the goal. Okay, that's the goal. So it's not it's a spiritually based goal in the physical part of the chart. That's why we say that. So the main thing is to do your spiritual work, and as you get emotionally clearer, then more of that God consciousness will come through you to create change in the world. Does that help?
Yeah, I think so. Does it relate then into like your soul destiny, I guess? Kind of
What is in your soul destiny?
12-3.
Okay, so I would say you're here to use spiritual energy to serve others, teach others. 3 is a teaching, just like it was for Sophie.
Right. Okay.
But you've got to work on all 6 outer aspects to manifest the soul destiny. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi. I was just a little bit confused. I've got 6 in spiritual talents, but also 6 in spiritual goals. So that was confusing me a little bit.
What it means is that you have the ability to be very focused and creative with a spiritual talent 6, but the spiritual goal 6 is learning to be focused and creative. So the positive 6 is called the fulcrum of the talents. The positive spiritual talent 6 will dissolve much more quickly the spiritual goal learning of the 6. It's partially karmic, the one in spiritual goals. It means you had to have a bit of unfocusedness, but this positive one's going to help you get on with it, basically. That's what it means. So one of the lessons, but not the really hard way. That's what it means.
And then it's just when you kind of like accomplish all of those other things, then you kind of work through it, because my life purpose is 9-9, and that's just that's obviously about abuse and stuff like that as well.
It is.
Yeah, and coming into your own power and stuff, and now I know why I've had previous relationships, how they've been the way that they've been and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of hoping that when you've kind of worked through all that, because I feel like I have worked through a lot of it. So I'm then kind of hoping that then that's when things will totally change.
Well, it changes incrementally. You get through some of the core karmic stuff, like peeling a big onion. Then the positive aspects of all the numbers start to come online.
Right.
That's where you get the good stuff. Most people never get to the good stuff. That's why they're worn out and tired in the middle age.
And see, just one last question. See, like the 3, and obviously that's about, to be of service to other people. And in my job as a counsellor, and funnily enough, I worked for Women's Aid for 7 years before as well. And obviously that's all about helping other people to get their own power and all that kind of thing. I didn't know about this at the time. So I've been out there teaching it when really should have been teaching myself a bit more. But even though it says about, you're here to be of service and stuff like that, it's funny because I've always thought before I knew this, surely I'm not here just because I feel as if for years a lot of my time has been spent studying and working. And sometimes I always think, surely there must be more out of life for me rather than me always out there helping other people.
Well, the threes are about self-worth, so you need to learn to love yourself. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, so you're always going to look after others first with a three, because you don't feel
Right.
worthy of being loved. You don't,
Right.
it's about having enough self-love so you're not sacrificing yourself, working for everyone else. I've got one of those in that position, so I'm an expert on that.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right, so Catherine, you've got your hand up. Go for it.
Quick question. So my life's purpose is a 9-9 in the middle.
Yeah.
So basically you're saying, clear everything that's on the outside of the triangle, right?
Got to keep working on it, and you'll gradually come into the power, because the number in soul destiny is like karmic until you figured out, you work through all the other numbers. So you've got to consciously work on all 6 outer aspects, and then you'll progressively come into your power as you do that. It's gradual. It's not like you wait to the end of life for that to happen. It's happening all the time. But the aim is that at the end you'll be a dragon lady in your power, totally flowing with spirit, creating great change in the world, catalyzing change. That's the goal of the lifetime.
And that's so broad, like I don't know what that means.
Well, the contract gives you a broad direction to head in, so you know what's important. And how you live that's entirely up to your human free will. And two people with the same contract will live it differently. But if they're conscious and work on themselves, they'll basically get to the same place. Okay, so it's not specific saying, in 10 days' time you're going to do this. It's latent potential, and how far you progress through it's entirely up to you. Okay. And how you do it's up to you. But the universe will give you hints if you're not following the flow, where things stop working. So
Yeah, that's where I am.
as you might have noticed. So
Thank you.
okay. Janet.
Yes, hello. Yes, so you mentioned before that if you have different names through your life, if I understood, that other names are like an icing in the top of the first one.
Yes, like layer of frequency icing on the cake of your birth name.
Okay, so my question is that I'm 57 and I feel stuck, stuck in the way that I know I have many gifts. I've been studying all my life. I'm very good academically, but when I want to go to doing my gift to to serve, dissolve. I cannot do it. I don't move in my life. So my question is, in 2018, I have this big awakening, and the name I received, as I mentioned before, was AZAASA, like Asa. That's the name I feel that is my name. So that's the name I use when I serve others. But how can I see that? Because in my real name, that I wasn't aware until I was 40 something, my real name, I have these numbers, but I don't know how can I help myself to get out of this stuck place that I am.
What you really need is to have a birth name plus an overlay name reading, and that's not explained in the book because it's much too complex. And the book was designed to just give you the birth name. I was only allowed 70,000 words. I chopped it about 10, 15,000 words to make it shorter to fit the word budget. So you really need to see a practitioner. I'll post links for getting readings. You need to see a practitioner who will take you through and find out how far you progressed, where you are now in terms of all the names you've used for an overlay reading. And they'll be able to find out where you're actually stuck. And then they'll come up with specific recommendations based upon what they discover on how to move forward from exactly where you are. That's what will be the next step for you. Okay, you can't figure it out.
And in terms of my real name, that is the one I did the numbers. In my real name, you mentioned also that we have to go through all the different parts in order to be in my soul destiny.
Yes.
So when I just to mention to see if you can give me at least something so I can work on that. So my physical karma is 5-5, and my physical talents 8-8. My physical goals 11-2. So when I see that, I see it doubles like 5-5, 8-8. Then when I go to my spirit, the numbers are higher. It's
Well,
like
it's not the numbers that are higher. It's just an English number label for Hebrew frequency. That doesn't mean they're better numbers, but it's just that you probably need a proper reading given the complexity of what you're doing here. It'll take an hour and a half. One of the practitioners.
Oh no, I understand. I
to
understand.
do
I
that,
understand.
but it's very complex. It's not just looking at the birth chart, and you've got to look at the birth chart. You've got to look at all the different names you've used, Spanish versions, written versions, to work out what's going on. And within that will be the answer to your question of why you're stuck. But also in there, they'll see the themes. There'll be 2 or 3 themes through all the different names of where your soul's headed, which is not always apparent in the birth name. And then they'll be able to guide you on where to go. Okay, and there'll be a way of overcoming the stuckness, basically. Okay.
And in terms of my physical, because in spiritual goals, I feel good. You know, in my spiritual field and my gifts. In my physical world is where I have difficulties in terms of or money or stability. So should I see then the physical karma to understand why it's happening, like a 5-5 or?
Well, the 5-5 in physical karma means you have to learn to ground. You have a lot of vision and pioneering ideas, but you've actually got to ground it into a practical reality, and that's why that's difficult with the 5, because it's very etheric. It's barely present in this reality. That's the reason it's difficult. You see, because you're very sensitive,
Yes.
pioneering being in this reality. That's why it's challenging. So you probably need to have the name optimized to ground you more, so that stuff can turn up. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're nearly out of time. I just need to finish the presentation for you guys. So if you have a lot of detailed stuff you want to know about, and you really need a proper reading, someone can take you through from the beginning to end for this sort of thing. This is just to give you a taster, but there's been some good questions there. So I just want to, Yana, you had your hand up briefly. Oh, you disappeared. Were you going to say something before? No? Okay. I want to finish off the presentation. Few more things to say to you guys. They're very good questions. So if you want to go beyond just a reading, if you want to help others, which you may be drawn to, if you're a one-on-one therapist or as a group facilitator, you can reveal the spiritual map of people's lives by training to be a practitioner in this, if you're drawn to it. So they have an immediate and profound understanding of their issues, and you can guide them accurately through all your work with them. It builds an enormous trust and produces faster results. And you understand your chart profoundly in the training, okay, if you're drawn to that. So what happens is that here, when we run this, you understand yourself and everyone else, as I just said. And you will learn to give these readings to help others have the same experience that you had of waking up to what's really going on. Okay. And we teach you how to do that. And we help you open your channel. Because effectively you're opening to higher consciousness, and the higher self of the client's having a chat to the client very consciously with this spiritual technology to help them awaken, find out why they're really here, and to get on with it. And we teach this experientially. It's not about learning more of what's in the book. Basically, what we do is we immerse you for 3 days in the frequencies of the 22 numbers by everyone in the class. We pick aspects from each person in the class.
Your sound is gone.
Can you hear me now? Not. Who can't hear me? Who's that?
There you go.
Yeah, must have been the internet. Yeah. So
Oh, sorry.
what we do is that we do case studies of, we do case studies of 22 numbers using examples of students in the class, and they share what their subjective experience has been of a karmic 22-4 or a talent 3, and then you'll never forget that. So you sit in the field, emotional field of that for 3 days. So we activate you into the 22 numbers. So you become the work, not learn more of it. Okay, in the way of understanding the book, we come with it a purely bodily transmission, and it reawakens the memory of it. So you become the work for 3 days, and then in the last 2 days, we teach you how to hold space to deliver readings to each other. You do practice with other people in the class, and you'll be amazed at how good you'll become because you become the work. So it's basically full body experiential learning, awakening of your DNA, and we plug you into your guidance team to deliver this work, to go around and waking people up. And it's pretty amazing seeing what happens when people do that as they awaken. And we support you with a practitioner peer-to-peer support group. The training's really in 2 parts. The part 1 is this transmission of work for 3 days, and then learning how to deliver readings. And the part 2 is where you take it out in the world, and we support you for about 4 or 5 months, sometimes 6 months, to go out in the world and come back to the support program. That's optional, and to learn how to master this and make a difference in the world. We also teach you how to be a spiritual entrepreneur. That's another training we have follows on, how to actually turn this and integrate it into your business. Because our goal is to raise consciousness on this. Okay, so and people will get a following from this. They get a deep feeling of peace, and they hear that truth, just like you guys got when you read the book. Feeling of relief that there's actually an order to your life, and it can empower people who may feel a bit victimized by life because it's been so tough, especially people with 9s, to take charge and move forward in their life. And so what we teach you to do is to show people where they are on their spiritual map of life, because their progress depends on them. Okay, and how to align with their true purpose, soul destiny. You touch people very deeply with this truth, because it just slices through all the ego illusions we have, and opens us to a deeper level of ourselves, and connection and compassion for others, because they can't help what's going on because of what's in their contract. And so basically, you should be able to deliver reasonable readings soon after the training. You've got to practice at it, and we support you in that. So, any questions about that? Just aware of our time about the training, if you're interested. Catherine?
I have a quick question. You know, like the software where you have to purchase where you get 4 readings and then you have to purchase.
Yeah.
So as a practitioner, are you allowed to use those? Like you'll purchase them and then are we allowed to give those to the client?
Yeah,
print
what happens is this, that here on the software, basically as a practitioner, we put it for practitioners and book readers, is that as a practitioner, you can do a pay-as-you-go. You can buy 8, 22 or 76 charts and just use them whenever you want. They never expire. But as practitioners get more advanced and use it a lot, then they pay on a monthly basis. They get 76 charts here for £22 or that's $30. And the guys who really do it a lot, they buy the unlimited package at £30 or I don't know, that's $37 or whatever, $40. And they do as many as they like. A lot of the people use this one.
Okay. And you're allowed to give them to the person, right? To the client?
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point. Yeah.
It's not like a copyright infringement.
No, it's not. It's designed as a tool to help you deliver that's the reason we built it, is so that you guys can help others.
Thank you.
Any other questions about any aspect of what we covered? All right. Okay, just finish off here. So if you're interested in learning this, if you're drawn to it, we have our spring training it's a 3-day weekend here, Friday to, I think it's Friday to Sunday, 8th to 10th of March, 16th to 17th of March. Call it the California Mums Weekend Special because they're the ones who are asking for to split the weekend because of not having many vacation days. And we do it on Zoom. Okay. Cheryl, you got a question?
Sorry, just one quick question. See, like your so your soul destiny, it's like, so you're constantly always working to that and working towards that, aren't you? It's not as if you just get there and then everything's totally changed.
No, it's a gradual work in progress for your whole life.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. So the timing of the training runs 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK time on Zoom. 7:30 a.m. start Eastern, all the way back to 4:30 a.m. Pacific, because this is the latest I can teach you, and we have to go to out to Eastern Europe and beyond to at 9:30 p.m. So the idea is trying to find a time period which suits most people in the Western Hemisphere. So if you want to find out more, go to soulcontractreadingtraining.com here. The deposit is £277, but over $300 depending on the exchange rate. And the full price, including the deposit, is £718 or $835. So if you're in Australia, we have the Asia Pacific training here, and we're starting to spread into Asia now. And that training is the 26th to 28th of April and 4th to 5th of May, another 3+2 day weekend training. And that starts at 6 a.m. UK to 2 p.m. That out in Western Australia, it's 2 to 10 p.m. Out in Sydney, it is 3 to 11 p.m. Because usually these guys have to get up, stay up all night. New Zealand's 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Even the New Zealanders come out for that. And in Asia, like Hong Kong and Japan, it's basically from a bit after midday, late into the evening. A lot of people from India and Asia come to this. And again, same price. And you can find out more of that on soulcontractreadingtraining.com as well. So we run that once a year if you want to do that. So UK people sometimes come early, surprisingly. But we have a lot of people from out east come for that. Okay. So yeah, that's our other offer. Okay. We also have the first Japanese training. If any of you speak Japanese, first Japanese training in Japanese is happening in February as well. So, okay. So, any other comments or questions, people? Anything else before we finish?
I just have one quick question, which
Yeah.
I am getting a reading with you. I'm actually in the middle of filling out my application. So if we should just discuss it there, just say so. But was always curious how all of this with a walk-in, and obviously you would understand too, does the chart, which soul is it reading? Is it the current, like the walk-in?
The birth chart will be for the first soul. Okay. And you as a walk-in will be looking to find an optimal name that will suit the walk-in's mission, which will build upon the personality, what's been created by the birth name of the first soul. So there'll be an optimal name for you as a walk-in to carry the mission out. That's what you're actually searching for. That's why you're here, Mia.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? No other ones? Janet, you can ask me another question.
Yeah, do you have any Spanish speakers, soul readers, contract readers, or that is?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have people in Peru, Argentina, North America, Spain. Yeah.
Good.
We do, so we can do with some more because it's a very big market. And a lot of people are interested. Spanish speakers are interested in this. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you.
we're looking for
I'm gonna-
Spanish practitioners and potential Spanish speaking teachers in the future. I need some Spanish teachers. So
Yes. Good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Cheryl, you got another question there?
Sorry,
All of
Wilson, I'm a counsellor. I'm in here with all these questions. So, yeah, it was just a matter of interest. Like, so for yourself and Mia, like, how did you both know that your soul had a walk-in? Because I don't actually really know anything about that. I've not looked that up yet or explored that. But how did you know that you had like a walk-in?
You find out when the time is right. I found out in the Carousel Growth Workshop.
Right.
I had a channeling from Frank up and he explained it, and then I explained my life. I'll post a link about walk-ins in the YouTube description. You can watch
Great, thank you.
videos, guide videos, and interviews and stuff, and you'll understand it.
Yeah,
You
that's
have to find out at
interesting.
some stage so you can get on with the mission.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anything else, anyone? Why you got me? No? Okay. Well, thank you for coming and making it really interesting. Great questions, and sharing your lives. Probably have the video out early next week. It's a matter of rendering it and getting all the emails sorted out. And hope that was helpful. Hope that moved you forward in your lives. Okay. Maybe see some of you on the training. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye.